Here's a question physics can't fully answer yet. Not because we haven't tried, not because the math doesn't exist, but because the place we're asking about is a region of the universe where the two most successful theories in all of science, general relativity and quantum mechanics, flatly contradict each other. And until we resolve that contradiction, what's inside a black hole remains genuinely, profoundly unknown. But here's what we do know, and it's stranger than the mystery. Black holes are the most extreme objects in the known universe, not just in terms of gravity or size, though both are extreme, but in terms of what they do to the fabric of space and time itself. We've been theorizing about them since the 18th century, when the English geologist John Michell first proposed the idea of a dark star so massive that light couldn't escape its gravity. Einstein's general theory of relativity, published in 1915, provided the mathematical framework that made black holes not just plausible, but inevitable. And in 2019, the Event Horizon Telescope collaboration produced the first actual image of a black hole's shadow. The supermassive black hole at the center of the galaxy M87, 6.5 billion times the mass of our sun, 55 million light years away, captured in a photograph. We know black holes are real. We know roughly how they form, how massive they are, how they affect everything around them. We've detected the gravitational waves produced when two of them collide. What we don't know, what physics genuinely cannot currently tell us, is what happens inside. And the reason why is one of the deepest unsolved problems in all of science. This video is about what the physics says, where the physics breaks down, and what the most brilliant minds working on this problem think might actually be in there. We'll be honest about what's confirmed, what's theoretical, and what's pure speculation, because in a topic this extreme, the difference matters. Let's start at the edge. Before we can talk about what's inside a black hole, we need to understand what separates the inside from the outside. That boundary is called the event horizon. The event horizon isn't a physical surface. There's no wall, no membrane, no visible line you'd cross. It's a mathematical boundary, the radius at which the escape velocity from the black hole's gravity equals the speed of light. Inside that radius, nothing, not even light, has enough velocity to escape. Outside it, with enough energy, escape is theoretically possible. For a stellar mass black hole, one formed from the collapse of a massive star, the event horizon might be just a few kilometers across. For the supermassive black hole at the center of our own Milky Way, called Sagittarius, a star, with a mass of about 4 million suns, the event horizon is roughly 12 million kilometers in diameter. That's about 17 times the diameter of our sun. Here's something that surprises almost everyone about crossing the event horizon. If you were falling into a large enough black hole, you might not notice anything dramatic at the moment of crossing. No flash of light, no physical sensation. The tidal forces, the difference in gravitational pull between your head and your feet, would be relatively gentle at the event horizon of a supermassive black hole. Because the horizon is so far from the central singularity, you'd cross it. And then you'd be inside, and the universe outside would begin to behave in ways that have no analog in ordinary physics. But here's what's really interesting. The event horizon looks completely different depending on whether you're the one falling in or whether you're watching from outside. To a distant observer, you would never appear to cross the horizon at all. Time dilation near the event horizon is so extreme that from the outside, you'd appear to slow down, redden, and asymptotically freeze at the horizon, never quite crossing, fading from view over an effectively infinite amount of time. From your own perspective, you'd cross in finite time without noticing. Two valid perspectives, two completely different realities, both described correctly by the same equations. That asymmetry is the first sign that something very deep is happening here. And it gets stranger the further in you go. Inside the event horizon, general relativity does something that sounds impossible when you first hear it. Space and time switch roles. Outside a black hole, time moves forward and space extends in all directions. You can move through space freely, left, right, forward, back. Time moves forward whether you want it to or not. Inside the event horizon, the mathematics of general relativity tells us that the radial direction, the direction toward the center, becomes time-like. It moves in only one direction, toward the singularity. What this means, in plain terms, is that inside a black hole, moving toward the center isn't a choice. It's as inevitable as time passing. Just as you cannot choose to move backward in time outside the black hole, you cannot choose to move away from the singularity inside it. The geometry of space-time itself has been so severely warped that infall is built into the structure of the universe at that location. This is one of the most disorienting predictions in all of physics, and it emerges directly from Einstein's equations that have been tested and confirmed to extraordinary precision in every other context we've applied them to. So what do you encounter on that inevitable journey inward? For a while, potentially a long while, in a large enough black hole, not much that's immediately lethal. Tidal forces increase. Space continues to curve. The physics of your immediate surroundings at first isn't radically different from what you'd experience in very strong but survivable gravity. But the trajectory has only one destination, and here's the part that changes everything, because that destination is where general relativity stops working entirely. At the center of a black hole, according to general relativity, is a singularity. A singularity is a point, or in the case of a rotating black hole, a ring, where the mathematics of the theory predicts infinite density, infinite curvature of spacetime, and the complete breakdown of the equations themselves. The numbers go to infinity. The theory returns no meaningful answer. Most physicists interpret this not as a description of what's actually there, but as a signal that general relativity has reached the edge of its validity. When a theory produces infinities, it's usually telling you that something is missing, that a more complete theory is needed to describe what's actually happening. The theory that's missing is a working theory of quantum gravity, a framework that unifies general relativity with quantum mechanics. We don't have one yet. String theory, loop quantum gravity, and several other approaches are candidates, but none has been confirmed experimentally. What most physicists believe is that the singularity as described by general relativity isn't real, that at the Planck scale, distances around 10 to the power of negative 35 meters, unimaginably small, quantum effects take over and prevent the infinite density from occurring. What actually exists at the center of a black hole in this view is something that quantum gravity would describe, but that we currently cannot. Stephen Hawking and Roger Penrose proved in the 1960s and 70s that singularities are mathematically inevitable given the assumptions of general relativity. This is called the Penrose-Hawking singularity theorem. But Hawking himself later argued that quantum mechanics must modify the picture. The singularity theorems tell us where general relativity breaks down. They don't tell us what replaces it. This is the honest state of the science. We know something is there. We know our best theory can't describe it, and we have compelling but unconfirmed ideas about what a better theory might say. But there's one more piece of this puzzle, and it might be the most important one. Because the question of what's inside a black hole is connected to a deeper question about the nature of information itself. In 1974, Stephen Hawking made a discovery that created a problem physicists are still trying to solve today. Using a combination of general relativity and quantum field theory, not a full theory of quantum gravity, but quantum mechanics applied to the curved space-time near a black hole. Hawking showed that black holes aren't completely black. They emit a faint thermal radiation, now called Hawking radiation, produced by quantum effects near the event horizon, radiating energy away, and eventually reduce also over timescales almost incomprehensibly longer than the current age of the universe for stellar mass black holes. They evaporate completely, and this created a crisis. Quantum mechanics has a fundamental principle: information is never destroyed. Every state of a physical system evolves in a way that's theoretically reversible. If you know the final state of a system perfectly, you can in principle reconstruct its entire history. Information is conserved. But if a black hole evaporates completely and the radiation it emits is truly thermal, truly random, carrying no information about what fell in, then all the information about every object that ever crossed the event horizon is gone, permanently, irrecoverably. That would be a direct violation of one of quantum mechanics' foundational principles. This is the black hole information paradox. And it isn't a minor technical quibble, it's a fundamental conflict between two theories that both work extraordinarily well in every other context we've tested them.
Hawking spent decades working on this problem. In his later years, he came to believe that information is preserved, encoded somehow in the Hawking radiation, in a form too subtle and scrambled to reconstruct in practice, but not actually destroyed. Most physicists today lean toward the same view, but the precise mechanism, how information escapes, what encodes it, what this tells us about the interior of a black hole, remains actively debated. Recent work on what's called the page curve, and approaches using the holographic principle and the ADS/CFT correspondence, suggest that information does escape from black holes, and that the interior of a black hole may be, in some deep sense, encoded on its surface. But this work is cutting-edge theoretical physics, not settled science. What we can say is this: the question of what's inside a black hole isn't just an astronomical curiosity. It sits at the intersection of the two deepest theories we have about reality. And its answer, when we find it, will tell us something fundamental about the nature of space, time, and information itself. So, what's inside a black hole? According to physics, here's what we can say with confidence. Cross the event horizon of a large enough black hole, and you'd enter a region where the geometry of space-time routes you inevitably toward the center. Space and time swap their roles. Tidal forces build. The universe outside recedes, not just visually, but causally. Nothing you do can send a signal back. At the center, general relativity predicts a singularity. But most physicists believe that prediction is the theory telling us it's broken, not a literal description of what's there. What actually exists at the center likely requires a theory of quantum gravity we haven't fully developed yet. And wrapped around all of it is the information paradox, the deep unresolved tension between general relativity and quantum mechanics that may be the most important open question in theoretical physics. Here's what I find genuinely extraordinary about all of this. We are a species that evolved to navigate savannas and forests. Our brains were shaped by millions of years of dealing with objects at human scales: rocks, trees, rivers, animals. And yet we've built mathematical frameworks powerful enough to describe the interior of objects, where space-time itself breaks down. Frameworks that predict radiation from the edges of black holes, that describe the geometry of regions no human will ever visit, that identify fundamental contradictions in our deepest theories and point towards something beyond them. The inside of a black hole is unknown, but the question of what's there has already taught us more about the nature of reality than almost anything else we've ever asked. that seems worth something, even before we have the answer. Here's what I want to ask you. Of everything we covered, the event horizon, the swap of space and time, the singularity, the information paradox, which one genuinely surprised you most? Which one made you stop and think, wait, that can't be right, before realizing it is? Because I think the answer is different for everyone, and I'd genuinely like to know where this lands for you. Drop it in the comments. And if you want to go deeper on Hawking radiation specifically, what it actually is, how Hawking derived it, and why it was so controversial when he first published it, that's exactly where I'm going next on this channel. See you there.